Good morning, students. Since we have studied till lesson 6, so today in this video I am going to recapitulate the all those 6 lessons. So let's begin. In lesson 1 we have come to know about the agriculture, that we knew that growing plants and rearing animals for food, clothing and other useful product is called agriculture. We also came to know about the crops, which are the plants of the same kind grown on a large scale for food, clothing, etc. We also knew that there are two types of the crops based on the seasons. Those are Kharif crops and Rabi crops, among which the rice are the example of Kharif crops and wheat are the examples of the Rabi crop. We also came to know in our lesson 1 about the different agricultural practices that are nothing but for growing crops, farmers perform a series of activities in a particular sequence over a long period of time. So these activities are known as agricultural practices. We knew that there are at least 5 steps in the agricultural practices. We came to know about the first one was soil preparation, second one was selection and sowing of seeds, third one irrigation, fourth weeding, and the fifth harvesting and storage. In our lesson 2 we discussed the soil preparation, that is the method in which before growing the crop the soils are prepared, and for this activity it involves 3 processes, that is ploughing, leveling and applying fertilizers. Ploughing, it is a process of loosening and turning the soil. Leveling is the process in which the large crumbs of the soil are broken down into smaller one. And the third one is the applying fertilizers, in which the fertilizers are added to the soil to make it rich in nutrients. In our lesson 3 we discussed about the different ways of selecting and sowing the seeds. In that we also performed one activity that helped us to separate healthy grains from the spoiled ones. We also saw that sowing is one of the method in which the process involves for planting the seeds in the soil. We saw the 2 different methods of sowing, that was sowing by hand, that is also known as manual sowing, and the second one was the seed drill. So this is a picture showing the manual sowing, and this is the picture where the seed drill machine is being used for sowing the seeds. In our lesson 4 we went on the irrigation. That is also an important step in the agricultural practices. Irrigation refers to artificial application of water to the soil for assisting the growth of crops. We also came to know about the 2 methods of irrigation, that is traditional method. You can see here in this picture, this is the one of the example of the traditional method, that is the well, and another one is the modern methods. Again, the modern methods have been divided into 2 parts, that is sprinkler irrigation and the drip irrigation. Sprinkler irrigation, as you can see in the picture, in this with the help of the nozzle the pumping of the water under the pressure is spraying over like the artificial rain, and in the drip irrigation with the help of the drip, with the help of the pipes, the water are being pulled drop by drop at the base root of the plants. So these are the 2 different methods of the, or you can say modern methods of irrigation. In our lesson 5, we came to know about the next step of the agricultural practices, that is the weeding and the crop protection. Weeding is what? The process of removing weeds is called weeding. It can be done either by the manual weeding or with the help of the weedicides. In that lesson, we came to know about the different agricultural implements necessary for manual weeding. The first one was, this is the trowel, this is the harrow. These are the agricultural implements used in manual weeding. Here in this picture you can see the common type of weeds. These weeds are the undesirable plants grown in the crop. We also saw some of the disadvantages of manual weeding, as it requires more time, more cost and more human labor. So we move to other methods of the weeding, that is the weedicides. So weedicide is a chemical that is used to destroy weeds, and the pesticides are the chemical that is used to destroy pests like the rats, like the insect, etc. Now we went to these are the agricultural practices. Now we also went to the lesson 6. We studied about the harvesting. That is, you can see here, this is the process of cutting and gathering of crops. As you can see in this picture, a woman is cutting and gathering the crops. So the process of cutting and gathering of crop is called harvesting. Now accompanied with harvesting, there is threshing and winnowing. As you have seen here, in the threshing, what is happening? Threshing is done in which the cereal plants are separated from the rest of the plant, and winnowing involves the separation of the grain from chaff. So both processes are very important. As you can see, this is the threshing and this is the winnowing. And the third one is, we also studied about the storage. After harvesting the crops, after they being threshed and winnowed, they need to be stored, and there are several conditions by which on the basis of which they should be stored. The place where they are going to be stored must be dry. They should be free of the rodents and the insects. So these several conditions are there that must be kept in mind for before storing the grains in the storage room. Okay.